Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2. We're going to the Upside Down. Spoilers up ahead. Let's go. Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick, and today we're going to talk about Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2. Wow. Money well spent with the VFX and everything else combined. Very beautiful. The lighting's incredible. The sets, everything's just so good. I can't wait to jump into it. Before we go any farther, I just want to let you know that we covered tons of shows here at AsArt, from The Boys to HBO Max, Westworld, Raised by Wolves, you name it. We're trying to cover it, so subscribe to get all the updates. Now let's just jump right into it. Stranger Things really relies on love, the power of love. We really see that here with spoilers, just in case, another spoiler warning, just in case we're going to be talking about spoiler stuff here. But like, just the love, how Eddie wanted to save Dustin and how he sacrificed himself by not running away. Great payoff. Very emotional moment. Am I bummed Eddie's gone? Yes, but it's just like great payoffs with the power of love. Even the payoff with Mike saying I love you to 11 to give her the power to defeat Vecna. Well, not defeat, but live to fight another day for sure. And now it's just like, it's incredible, like how this show seems like it's getting better in later seasons, where most shows it seems like it goes the other way. Like the farther you get into a show, it's like, it kind of goes down here. I think the only show that the later you got into it and it was still a great show was Breaking Bad. But like Game of Thrones, for example, right? Like I feel like once we got later in the seasons, they started going the other way. But season 4 is doing so. Season 4 is just a great season. It's probably one of my favorites of the series. I don't know if it has to do just with the production quality or that the kids are older and I just like, or just like we're going with the characters. But I think the horror themes really help this season too, because it's really strong with horror compared to the past seasons, and I'm really loving it. I'm really loving it. Okay, so let's jump into some fun little things. First, let's talk about, it's not like the main story plot, but let's talk about what happens in Russia with Hopper and everything going on there with the Demogorgon fight. Like it was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, like it was fun. It wasn't the main part of the story, but I don't think it took away from the main part. But man, just seeing him pick up the sword, and I was thinking of like Aragorn charging or Boromir. It's like some kind of like for Gondor. Like running in to save the day. Love that moment so much. And it was cool to see them finally reconnect with the group again back in Hawkins. And then not too much to talk about there. It was just a great action sequence, amazing VFX when it comes to the Demogorgons and all those creatures, and the mind flare effect, or the shadow is what they're calling it in Russia. And it was a lot of fun. But now let's jump into what we all want to talk about, right? We'll talk about the scenes with Vecna. And I thought this episode did a good job telling everyone's story in the sequence, because we had a lot of things going on. We were like, we had this whole like plot to kill Vecna, where Max is going to sacrifice herself, and then Steve and the group's going to go in and kill Vecna when he's in his trance state, and then 11 is going to go in through the mind and help out. So it was really cool seeing all the different pieces come together, and I thought they did a great job too, even like with how they communicated through the Upside Down with the lights and all that stuff and writing on the pad. I was like, oh, that's really smart. They did a good job. Like really enjoying, really I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you can tell, but I really enjoyed this last episode of the last season. But you know what, before we jump into the last episode, there was 2 episodes that were released, so we're going to talk about the first one with his papa. And one thing I gotta say, I don't know if anyone else caught this, but when the military comes into the secret bunker base and they're like waiting down the hallway, I got like major Star Wars A New Hope vibes. Like when Darth Vader enters the ship for the first time and there's just like a pathway and they're like shooting and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool, because that's very, they're going with the 80s themes and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And there's something else I want to talk about. I'll just talk about it now. And I thought another cool thing they did, which was a very fun way to bring in Dungeons and Dragons, or like just that system of play where it's like one character fights at a time. When the group was fighting Vecna, you had like Robin, right, who was like the wizard. She like throws the fireball, right? And then you have the archer, which is Nancy, who has the gun, who shoots him. And then after her turn was done, you had the swordsman. And it's like, it's like they entered a dungeon on a raid through Dungeons and Dragons to kill Vecna. And I just thought that was super cool. I hope we get something like that in the final season with the full group of people. It's like a campaign to raid, Vecna's mind or his castle or dungeon of doom. I thought that was so much fun as a reference. But let's go back to the whole 11 story, because there's a lot to unpack there with 11's powers, right? Because 11 got strong, but Vecna also got strong, and they did a good job showing that. It's like, 11 comes in and she's like, I got this, she's like, aha, and tosses him to the side. He's really not injured at all. And he gets up and he shows 11 like, yo, it's not going to be like last time. And I thought that was done so well and so beautifully. And even I can't get over how beautiful this looks. Like, this is a full-on movie production, and this is a show on Netflix. And I'm always just like, wow, the lighting's so good, the coloring, the VFX, the acting. Like, I'm always so impressed with this last season. Like, oh my gosh, how are they going to top it? And they kept topping it, and it started to look, and it just was looking really good. So the gang survives, and it's fun to see everyone back together again. And I at first I'm like, two-day jump, what happened? How did they get out of the situation? Like, how did they get out of the upside down? What happened after this? Was 11 out of commission for a day, or did they just drive straight? Like, I wanted to know what happened to those 2 days, but it's all right. It's all good. I understand time jumps and you need them at times and stuff like that. But it was really cool to see the what they did with the character Max, because it's one of those things. It's like, wow, at first I was like, whoa, they're gonna kill Max, this is crazy, because she's like such a main character now, and it's like, that's a heavy loss, as it is. We just lost Ed, and I was like, oh dang, don't tell me we're gonna lose Max too. Like, this is too much, man. This is too much for one episode. And I think they did something even crazier and sadder than killing Max, is they put her in a coma state. And I don't know if that's due to her mind being in Vecna's mind, or if she's connected to Vecna now, or if she's lost in the mind flare, and by closing the upside down, is that going to kill her too? Or is she going to be fighting from the inside with her mind and kind of be like attacking Vecna from the inside kind of thing? So I'm very interested about that, and also about 11's connection to the upside down too, because I don't know, she has new powers and stuff now, but the hole is so big where a major sacrifice of love is going to have to be used to shut it. Is she going to entrap herself in it and she'll be stuck in there with Max, which will lead to more seasons in the future? Or is she going to die in the process, or seriously injure herself again, like last time where she lost her powers, but was she losing for good this time? Or will powers begin to spread? It's like the X-Men, it's like, instead of all mutants are gone, like all mutants have powers, and it's like, is our group going to start getting powers too? So I'm very, very interested in what's going to happen in the final season. It's great to have an actual villain now, and not just like monsters that don't really have like a brain or a personality or something that we can attach to. I thought it was really cool that Vecna's here now, because it gives the team or the crew from Hawkins an actual person to fight. And it's not just, oh, it's the Mind Flayer, it's the Demogorgon, it's like, oh dang, it's Vecna, this guy plays mind games, he's a real threat. And I've really enjoyed that this season, actually having a character that's a threat and not just a monster. And we just got to talk about Eddie's guitar ripping solo, right? At first when he first hopped up there with the guitar, I'm like, oh, is he gonna do War Pigs from Black Sabbath? Black to our massive War Pigs, but I'm happy they did Master of Puppets. That's more metal, more like, fitting for the vibe and the heavy metalness. But I just thought War Pigs would have went with the title of the episode of piggybacking. I'm like, War Pigs. I'm like, come on. But great music choices. They even brought Journey in too, Our Separate Ways. Oh my gosh, I love that Journey song so much. It was so cool to hear that too, because everyone was kind of going their separate ways and everything. Oh man, Journey is so freaking good. It was a really long ending, which I liked, because I feel like it was a good setup for next season, because it brings everyone together, which is good, because you're not spending the first couple episodes in the next season of bringing everyone together. It's like, okay, the team's here. Let's go. I really like that's how the second last episode started too. It's just like pick up right where we left off. no explaining and stuff like that. Just like go. And I'm really excited for next season to just jump into it. Hope they pick up where they left off. Or maybe not. Maybe a time jump could totally work too. But I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with Max, what's going to happen with 11. Those are the big questions. And the relationship stuff's cool too. Like, I'm curious what's going to happen with Nancy, who she's going to pick. And I'm curious what's going to happen with Robin too. Or is everyone going to have to drop the relationship stuff? Or is the relationship stuff going to add to the power of love to defeat Vecna, who's like the power of sadness and loneliness. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited too to see how the adults are going to interact, because now it's not like people are fighting their separate battles. Like, this even happened in 3 or 2, right? Like the adults are doing something and the kids are doing something. The adults are doing something and the kids are doing something. Maybe this last season everyone's going to be together fighting together, like in season 1. Was that like no season 1 they separated too? But it'll be cool to see everyone fight as a team together and to defeat Vecna, because we know it's going to be more than just 11. Like, they're going to have to find a way to weaken him and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun, really fun, exciting season 5. I hope the doctor comes back, Dr. Owens, because he's probably going to have some kind of scientific way to help defeat Vecna. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with all the characters. I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this episode. What were your favorite moments and maybe your favorite characters and predictions of what you think are going to happen next year. I mean, we got to find out 11's new powers, because they mentioned like Supergirl. So it's like, is she going to be able to fly? They totally teased flying in this thing too. So is she going to go full on like Supergirl, where she'll have more than just mind powers kind of thing? And I'm really excited. Comment down below. Let me know if you want us to cover more Stranger Things content here. We did like a behind the scenes of the Dear Billy episode, which is super cool. And my wife was like, Vecna looks like the Grinch. And I think it's the lower lip. When I was looking at him today, when he was talking to Max, I think it's his lower lip sticking out that just kind of gives us the Grinch vibe. But I'm super excited. Go to AsArt.space for audio and video links. And we have a podcast, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next AsArt.